Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to Joe Man's Land. It's really nice to see you. Today we're going to be talking about some of the recent changes that we've seen in China towards their policy towards online education. The main thing about this video is it is not political. I just want to talk a little bit about some of the policy changes, why they might be happening, and some of the long-term implications this might have for both the education sectors in China and Korea. And without further ado, let's jump into some of the things that make private schools a little bit different than public schools. So the big thing to remember when we're talking about private schools in Korea and China respectively is I'm not talking about like private schools in the sense that we're used to in North America. No, instead they're more of a preparatory after-school program as well as kindergarten programs during the day. But typically when we're talking about the hours that a lot of these schools operate on, it's going to be from around 9 until 5 for kindergarten programs. And you have the big switch over to the evening programs, which might be from 6 till 10 o'clock depending on the country, but that is changing, especially in China. Now let's get into the financials and let's compare both the private school industry in Korea and China respectively on a per annum basis. So I guess that's the thing. Let's start with the smaller number, which is Korea. The thing to keep in mind with Korea is, of course, their population, South Korea, is considerably lower than that of China. With that in mind, in 2019, it was reported that the private sector education industry in Korea brought in right around $6.14 billion that year. China, on the other hand, is $140 billion per year in the private sector industry, 40 billion of which this year was in online teaching. So the government says that money is not the reason why they're going to regulate, and instead it's actually because of children's lives and trying to better the lifestyle of the younger Chinese student. So in terms of what these regulations actually look like, I'm still not 100% sure on what they're going to be moving forwards. However, from what I have found out from different businesses I am familiar with in China, it's looking like this. First, no more 2-hour seminars. The maximum a student can be taught per night is 1 hour. And after approximately 25 to 30 minutes, there has to be a 15-minute break. So for a lot of schools that offer 2 to 3 hour seminars after hours, that's going to completely change how they organize their classes. So maybe the classes will be broken into different nights per week, the same kids you teach, or maybe they're just going to lower the time the students are in class per week altogether. Either way, no matter what business you're going to be looking at getting into teaching with, it's going to completely change moving forward. But for other schools, this has completely left them reeling. VIP Kit has completely ceased hiring foreign teachers, and other businesses are only hiring foreign teachers now from certain countries. Which seems to be another regulation they're putting in is also now the nationality of the foreign teacher, both online and offline. Now in a country like Korea, this is very common. In order to get an E2 visa, you have to be from what they classify as a quote-unquote native English-speaking country. But in China, at least in terms of the online space, this has never been a factor. But again, moving forwards, this might be something to watch for. But are these changes concerning? Definitely if you're a teacher. If you're a student, I think they actually might have a lot of positive implications. A lot of my friends that work in the sector in China have been expressing growing amounts of concern. However, most employers that I am familiar with have been stating emphatically that this will not change their hiring process, at least for teachers that are in China. But I want to learn more about your experience, so I'm actually going to be leaving a Google survey link below. It's going to be both to gauge what your experience has been like as a teacher and also for me to possibly connect with you and interview you. This channel is for teachers and about teachers, and if I'm only sharing my experience, it's going to be very limited, especially now that I'm back in North America. So please fill it out, let's collaborate, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, whether it's a comment or a survey submission. So I think with that, we'll wrap the video up there. So please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Have a great day. We'll see you later.